Hey everybody, it's Chad, Nobody Else's Auto. Back over in what I like to call the new yard. Now, if you've been hanging out on here with us for a while, you'll know a few years ago I finally got the small lot just to the north of me bought. There was a small lot here with a bunch of cars on it that's been hung up in an estate for decades. Finally got it bought a few years back. We've been working our way through this yard a piece at a time because everything in here is basically sitting wherever it was dropped when it came in. No rhyme nor reason to anything in this yard. So that's why we've been sharing it with you exactly as I bought it, exactly as I found it before I started shuffling cars around. So believe it or not, we're just about done. We're down to the last couple of videos of as is, where is, of how I found this stuff in the new yard. Tonight we're going to check out a couple of Studebakers. A super cool Land Cruiser right behind me and a super cool Studebaker truck right behind it next to it. The truck is really cool with a really interesting story. So let's go check these things out. We're going to start out here right here with this old Land Cruiser. This is a late 40s era Studebaker Land Cruiser, 47, 48, 49 era. Now this car has been sitting here a long time. We're in the far back corner of this facility and you can see the bumper guard is pretty much almost on the ground. We come over here to this tire and wheel, we can really see how far this thing is sunk over the years as it has been sitting in here. It is a four-door, and it is rough. It's been sitting here a long time, but there's a lot of good parts on it. I mean, look at the chrome on these front light pods. They still look really nice considering their age, and they've been sitting out here for a long time. Some of the grill pieces are still here. The Studebaker Land Cruiser still on the front of the hood. Now, like I said, everything in here is kind of exactly as I found it, including these old tires wedged in here between the Studebaker and this old Mustang Hulk. We'll see if we can kind of work our way around and take a peek inside of this Studebaker. A lot of the dash pieces are actually still here and still look halfway decent. Could all probably be restored. But as far as soft trim, anything like that, not really much of anything at all left in this old Land Cruiser. Suicide type doors on this Studebaker. Kind of work our way around the tire pile here. Come on around the back. Back windows are gone. Trunk lids here, as well as a few pieces of the trim. Really cool trunk handle. Now the handle part that lifts up, which would have been right here, is broken off. Studebaker right across the back there. The Land Cruiser kind of at a cool angle across the back. And really these were a very uniquely designed car for their era. Can't see much of the passenger side. It's right up here against this old Studebaker truck. But speaking of which, this old Studebaker truck is super cool. This is an old dealership. I believe it was a wrecker. The bed is gone, but check this thing out. It looks like it was a 1-ton. It had the bigger wheels on it. Studebaker right on the side of the hood. Had old Goodyear decals on the hood, as well as the dealership name, Marconet Motor Company. This was actually a Mopar dealer in Larned, Kansas. I don't know if they had Studebaker back in the day or for sure what the deal was. But that's what this old truck was. I believe it was a tow truck. There's no bed left on it now. The mirrors, American Parts, an old aftermarket parts company. We come around the front of this old Studebaker, and this is another really unique feature on this truck. Check out this grill guard. Custom built. It actually was a push bumper and custom built to clear the Studebaker lights. Now we can see down here in the front of it, it actually did have a board on it. It had a frame built to put a big block of wood in there so it could be used as a push bumper. And it actually looks like they built right off of the Studebaker bumper itself when they built this. Welded a plate behind it, reinforced it, and built this super cool grill guard to go all the way across the front of this Studebaker. Definitely protected the front end of this thing while it was out doing its job. Over here on the driver's side, we can get around it a little bit better. Once again, the Goodyear on the hood, Studebaker on the side of the hood, and the dealership information. Marconet Motor Company, dial AT53231, Larned, Kansas. Inside, mostly intact. Been sitting here for a really long time. Obviously, we're in the clear far back corner of this facility. Check this out. Had air conditioning. Had a fan. That was your air conditioner right there. That was as good as it got. Roll the windows down, kick your electric fan on. And like I said, we come around the back. It is a chassis cab now. I believe it probably had a wrecker bed on it. Old Ford hood sitting on the back of it. Back of the cab's pretty straight, so apparently probably had some sort of a guard on it when this thing was out doing its job. And we can see where it's had some other bracketry that was welded on at some point and has now been cut off of the back of the frame on this old Studebaker. So I'm gonna guess this was probably an old tow truck for the Marconet Motor Company at some point in its life. Well, there you have it. A couple more out of the new yard. Down to, I think, probably one more video, and then we'll have worked our way through this entire yard. So you're definitely going to want to check out the channel. Look at the other videos entitled New Yard if you want to see some of the other stuff that was in here. I've started working in the front of this yard, so I'm slowly starting to regroup, get light type cars put together. So all this stuff will be getting moved and be getting worked into its respective area so that these Studebakers will be parked with my other Studebakers. When you guys need parts for something, I'll be able to go check those cars in one group. Same thing with Chevy trucks and Ford trucks and Buicks and Pontiacs, all that stuff will be sorted into their like type respective areas. So just takes a lot of time to do that with this many cars. So got any questions about these old Studebakers or any of the other 2,000 cars and trucks we've got here on the ground at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call, 620-786-4428. Having that short conversation on the phone about your project or what you're looking for a project, year, make, model, body style, the parts you need, all that stuff is critical. With 2,000 cars and trucks on the ground, 6 buildings full of cars and parts, I need as much information from you to know if I've got something here that might be able to help you out with your project. So give me a quick call at that number, 620-786-4428. That is in the description part of this video as well. And we'll have that short conversation. Texts, emails, none of that stuff is ever complete enough for me to be able to work with. So just give me a shout. You like these old cars, you like old trucks, be sure to check out the channel, Nobody's Show. That's all we do on here because that's really about all I know. Cars, trucks, toys, memorabilia, gas and oil. That's what we do on here. Check out that channel. Definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely click that notification button so you know when we're going live. Because we do a lot of cool live stuff on here as well that you don't want to miss. So lots more cool stuff coming up. Lots of cool inventory hitting the ground. You don't want to miss any of it. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned. We got a lot more cool stuff coming up. Thanks for watching, everybody.